printed it out, it'd go to the seat.
As everybody makes their way to their seat, we will begin the tribal council meeting. It's always good to have deputy here. And guests, this is the government at work. So at this time, I'd call this meeting to order. Councilor Crittenden, you want to give the blessing tonight?
Father, I just want to thank you for this day and all the blessings you give to us daily. And I want to ask you to go with us as we conduct the business of Cherokee Nation, Father, and just keep all of our hearts and minds right for this. Just thank you for all things good in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Counselor. Shelley, you want to do the roll call?
Yes, sir. Bill England. Keith Austin. Here. Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird.
Ani?
Sean Crittenden.
Bonnie.
Don Garvin. Frankie Hargis. Present. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Janice Taylor. Here. David Thornton. Victoria Vasquez.
Honey.
David Walkingstick. Brian Warner. We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Shelley. The minutes were mailed to you. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to be approved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. This time, we will have the State of the Nation from our Principal Chief, Mr. Bill John Baker. Are we ready?
I'm ready if you are.
Yes, we're moving kind of good here. We've had some tea this afternoon. Our chief and our secretary, they just returned from a trip from the Northwest, and he was hoping to get cooled off a little bit. When they left here, it was like 90, 98 when he left, so he went to the Northwest to cool off. And I think, Chief, when you got there, it wasn't that cool, was it?
It's the hottest day they had. It hit 100 degrees. And I just hoping and praying they didn't blame me for bringing it there. And the next day it was 97, 98, and then yesterday it cooled off a little bit. It was 93, and fly back this afternoon, and I get off the plane in Tulsa and step out, and it's 78 degrees. And how does this work? But
good to have you back.
Well, thank you. But apparently I did bring the weather back from there, the cool weather. So anyway. But we did have a really good time. You know, this year is just flying by. This is our August council meeting. Deputy was telling me that 5 years ago, yesterday, that he was inaugurated principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. And got a short update this month. We did just get back from the Pacific Northwest. We had a meeting in Portland where I think they did 97 new photo IDs. And this is the 4th or 5th time we've taken photo IDs out there. And every year you think, it's going to saturate, but more and more Cherokees are getting involved, coming out, participating, and Rob and his group they've just taken it to another level, and they're starting to bring it around the 14 counties to your districts as well. Noel Grayson's been doing a wonderful job. Tommy Wildcat does a great job. The whole program is getting accolades, and at Tacoma they were expecting 400 people, and I think they only got 300 or so. But it was a really huge meeting, and I was telling Harley that we did the 4 hours of the meeting, and they weren't going home. I mean, we got to 4 o'clock, and they wanted more. They just it's kind of like a Cherokee picnic at home. That you go home when you get ready, and that's about it. And they weren't ready, so it was a really good deal. We have established a partnership that I think is really going to help ICW. It's a partnership with the state of Oklahoma. It's a partnership with all the churches around Cherokee County to better take care of the kids in custody. And the churches have been wanting to know, how can we help? So this portal sets up a list for the churches to send out that this family needs bunk beds, or this family needs this, or this family needs that, and it's an opportunity for the church members to be able to donate the things that these families are needing to get their lives back together, or to get their kids back, or to help the foster parents that are taking these kids in without having to go out and spend large amounts of dollars in order to help take care of these kids. So we're really hoping that this program works as well as we think it will, and the churches are extremely excited about this portal of care program that they've all signed up for. We have a new tribal fire coordinator, a Cherokee gentleman named Dwayne Chuckaluck. He started here several years ago as a fire dancer, and he was highly recommended by the BIA, and he's on board and apparently doing extremely well. I want to encourage any young people and around the districts to apply for the Cherokee Nation Youth Council. It's that time of year again, and it's a tremendous leadership program where we bring kids in from all around, and they mirror you all on the council. And they have work projects, and they learn a great deal about the Cherokee Nation. They learn a great deal about their heritage. And so anyway, if you've got anybody in your districts in mind, or put a call out to any and all, they'll be doing that. The deadline is September the 7th. Planning Employee Appreciation Day for the Cherokee Nation. The staff have been working really hard. It's going to be August the 26th, and the employees have certainly earned an appreciation day. I think we're hitting on all 8 cylinders, and people ask me about this, that, and the other, and I say, hey, I've got the best employees in the world, and I don't know what they're all doing every day, but they're making us proud. Finally, we're just a few weeks away from the Cherokee National Holiday that I think it's the 64th annual. I think it's going to be bigger and better than ever, and I hope each and every one on the council can invite folks around the 14 counties in, and I hope that each and every one of you can participate in it. And we've folks from all over the United States are coming in for it, and folks in Tacoma and Portland. There's some of those that are coming. Some come every year, and some are going to come for the first time. That brings me to the death announcements, and it's not a long list, but if you'll bear with me, and if we have a moment of silence for those that we do have. Joyce Abbott of Claremore, Sandra Barrows of Jay, Maxine Blossom of Oaks, Candy Burke of Salina, Andy Christie of Tahlequah, Randy Graves of Nowata, Frankie Gwynn of Choteau, Floyd Hathcote Sr. of Tahlequah, Dave Killer of Stillwell, Mose Kirk Jr. of Stillwell, Eugene Lammers of Fort Gibson, Brenda Ramirez of Jay, Albert Ross of Stillwell, Thomas Waddle of Bartlesville, Alicia White of Cookson, Angela Williams of Locust Grove, Dr. Virgil Carter of Tahlequah, L.C. Jones of Halbert. Are there others that we did not get on our list? Bill?
If Tommy Bratton is here. Ted Foster, Chelsea,
Absolutely.
and Gary Stafford, Ullville.
Curtis?
Retha Hass of Kansas.
Okay. Frankie?
Haskell Murphy of Stillwell and Marlon Hogner of Stillwell.
Chance Humble from Coffeyville, Kansas.
Dave?
Charlie Weber, Vine.
Dennis Woody, Salisaw.
Okay. Pancho Crittenden as well. Carlos Pancho, he passed away as well. Used to work for C&B and for the tribe. And anyway, if we could have a moment of silence, please. Well, do.
Thank you, Chief. Next, Cherokee Warrior Veterans Award, our Deputy Chief, S. Joe Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This evening we have 3 veterans to honor for their service to this country. And I don't see Wanda, Councilwoman
No, she's not.
Hatfield.
And
Go ahead.
I meant to give the apologies for Wanda. She was out for both those community meetings, and she just could not get a flight out in time to make the meeting, but she'll be here soon.
Okay, thank you, Chief. So, Jack, would you come down, please? Our first veteran tonight is a gentleman named Gary Dale Douglas. Gary, would you come down, please? Gary Dale Douglas was born on February 27, 1945 in Houston, Missouri, to Gene D. and Neva Douglas. The Douglas family moved around a bit, but eventually settled in Talala, Oklahoma. He was drafted into the United States Army in the spring of '67 and had basic training in Fort Bliss, Texas. He had advanced individual training to become a combat engineer in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. He went to Vietnam in October of '67 and was assigned to the 585th Dump Truck Company. He drove a Jeep for 1st Platoon Sergeant and then the company commander. The company commander was killed in an ambush. He then drove a Jeep for the 2nd Platoon Sergeant. Mr. Douglas was ambushed twice, first by the Viet Cong and then by the North Vietnamese regulars. As a result, he earned 2 Silver Stars for valor in combat. After the second ambush, he took over the night crew of the motor pool for the remainder of his service. The motor pool was responsible for the upkeep and repair of the vehicles. He was discharged in December of 1968. He was certified as a sharpshooter with an M14 and an expert rifleman with an M16. He earned the following medals and awards: the Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Combat Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Good Conduct Medal, 2 Silver Stars, and 2 Overseas Bars. And Mr. Douglas, I want to thank you on behalf of this nation for your service to this country, sir.
We have another one, Deputy?
We got two more, sir.
Oh, okay.
Councilman Garvin, you want to come and help with this presentation, sir? Our next veteran is James Clarence Huggins. And James is sitting back in the back here, and we're going to go to him, Speaker. I'll read from here, and then we'll go up there because he's got issues getting down here. Clarence Huggins was inducted into the U.S. Army in Tulsa, Oklahoma on September 6, 1942. In October of 43, he traveled by train to Fresno, California for training at Hammerfield, United States Army Air Force. He remembers having to sleep outside on the first night in Fresno and it being bitterly cold. In early January of 1944, he transferred to Portland, Oregon, where he was promoted from buck private to buck sergeant and was also selected for supply duty. In 44, Mr. Huggins was stationed at headquarters on Morituri Island. He was a member of the 307th Bomb Group, Heavy B-24 of the Far East Army Air Force, Pacific Theater. He was overseas from September the 15th of 1944 through November 30th, 1945. He returned stateside in December of 45 and was subsequently discharged on December 23rd, 1945. He arrived home in Fort Gibson late on the night of December the 24th, 45. He was an early Christmas present to his family. He received the following awards: Distinguished Service Medal and Ribbon, Philippines Liberation Medal and Ribbon, Asiatic Pacific Medal and Ribbon, World War II Victory Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal. Mr. Huggins, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service to this country, sir. That brings us to our third veteran, and Frankie and Sean, would you come down and help with this presentation? Our third veteran tonight is James David Murphy. Mr. Murphy, would you come down, sir? Mr. Murphy received basic training in Orlando, Florida in November of '69. In December of the same year, he was transferred to Hunters Point Naval Shipyard in San Francisco for his first duty aboard the USS Midway. While the Midway was in port undergoing modernization, Seaman Murphy received personal launcher training in San Diego. He was trained on the 40 and 50-foot boats. Once aboard the Midway, Seaman Murphy was responsible for ship-to-ship transfers of supplies and ammunition. He served 2 combat tours on the Yankee Station in the Tonkin Gulf in North Vietnam. Fighter jets flew missions off the Midway into northern Vietnam while Seaman Murphy was aboard the ship. As part of the 3rd Division boat crew, he gained the rank of boatswain's mate 3rd class and participated in training exercises with South Korea. He sustained an injury to his right knee and returned stateside to the Oakland Naval Hospital, where he spent 4 months in rehab for his knee. He was discharged from active duty in July of '73 and transferred to the Naval Reserve, where he served until 1975. He was married to Marjorie Eileen Murphy in March of 1973. Although she passed in October of 2015, she is still the love of his life. He received the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Combat Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and Meritorious United Commendation Recognition. Mr. Murphy, thank you on behalf of this nation for your service to this country.
Well, thank you.
I'm not used to being in front of crowd.
Deputy, thank you for that. You always do an outstanding job in making sure that our veterans are taken care of. Unfinished business. At this time, we have a special guest with us tonight. We have the current Miss Cherokee, whose term will end within a couple of weeks. So this will be her last council meeting to give her thanks and farewell. So I asked her to come tonight, and she just happens to be my niece. First time I've ever revealed that to anybody, Jaleese. But this is Jaleese Pittman, and really proud of her. And her and the junior Miss Madison really did an outstanding job, I thought. So this time we'll give you the podium here to say a few words.
Sio Nagada, Chali Siji Squapetman Thakodon'i, Galieli Tigalio Ko'u Sa'i. Hello everyone, my name is Jalisi Bird Pittman. I am the 2015-2016 Miss Cherokee, and it's such an honor to be here with all of you this evening. I received this wonderful title on August 29th of 2015 this past year, and the journey has not stopped since. For these past few months, I have grown and I have cried and I have laughed with this title, and I couldn't be more thankful for the experiences that I've gotten. Throughout this whole time, I've gotten to know most, if not all, of you tribal counselors and how each and every one of you represent your districts with such wonderful dignity and love. I can see that we have such wonderful people who truly care about our people and who truly care about our well-being as a whole. I'm so very thankful that I've got to work with each of you in some form or fashion. And I can't express to you how thankful I am that you put up with having someone like me at your council meetings. Part of my responsibilities as Miss Cherokee was to attend the community meetings put on by some of these tribal counselors, and I got to meet the best people in our jurisdiction, in state and out of state. I got to meet people from all walks of life, whether they were young, whether they were old, but all of them just had one thing in common. They were all Cherokee, just like we are. We're all Cherokee. We are all one family. Nikada Idzidaleg. We are all Cherokee. And that was probably one of the best moments of my experience as Miss Cherokee. At first, whenever I received the title, it kind of felt like it was all about me, the newness of it, the excitement of it, the crazy schedule that I had to endure during the holiday. However, once the title became a part of my life and a part of my schedule, I quickly realized this is not about me at all. After a while, the crown started to make an indentation on my forehead. After a while, I started sweating a little bit too much in my regalia. After a while, my feet started to hurt a little bit as well. But all in all, it became a part of who I was, and it forever shaped the person that I am and the person that I'm becoming. I'll never forget how, whenever I did receive the title, my cousin Candace Bird was so kind and wise to tell me to pray for the families of all of the royalty that had been in attendance. And I was just thinking, I'm so undeserving. I don't deserve this at all. But I will forever be grateful that I was chosen to represent one of the best and greatest tribal nations in the United States. I'm so undeserving, and I thank God every day. I really do. But all of you made it possible by letting me be a part of your team, by letting me be a part of all the work that you were doing. If I caused any trouble, I apologize. If I told too many cheesy jokes, again, I apologize for that as well. But thank you. I told myself I wouldn't do this. That's what they all say, isn't it? But I'm just so appreciative of the experience that I've had. All of you have been wonderful as a people and as a council and as an administration, and my family cannot thank all of you enough. The prayers that we've received and the encouragement, all of it has just been such a wonderful thing to have, and I will forever cherish it. Here in about 12 days, I will pass on this title to another young lady who I hope loves this tribe and loves the people as much as I do. I hope that whoever she is, that she remains humble and that she stays faithful to her family and to everything that's required of her in this position. I met with the ladies who were competing for the title a couple weeks ago, and I was so glad that I was able to talk to them and invest in them for what time that I had. And the one thing that I wanted to tell them was I didn't want them to look at each other as competition. I wanted them to look at each other as a team and as one big working machine working towards the same goal. And I told them, I said, I want you guys to love each other and to support each other, because you don't have to have this crown, you don't have to have this title to serve your tribe. There are other ways to serve your tribe. And I firmly believe that we have such wonderful youth, we have such wonderful young women, not just in this area, but all around our jurisdiction who can do great things. I, again, can't express how privileged I am to be in this position, but I know that even after I pass on the title and after I move forward with my life, I will always be looked at as a former Miss Cherokee, and I will live my life accordingly to so. So again, Widow, thank you all.
Thank you for those words, Jaleese. Make us proud. At this time, we will drop down to committee reports. We have Mr. Gary Cooper, Housing Authority.
Mr. Speaker, members of the council, good evening. I don't think I can follow Ms. Cherokee there. She's done an outstanding job this year. You all know she's a great ambassador and a role model for all young Cherokee women, and she's done an excellent job. You see her out in the communities and at the different events and things that you go to. Everyone just looks up to her, and she's done an amazing job. I know y'all have had a very long day, so I'm going to keep my report very brief this evening. I'm going to cut out lots of it. I think I've covered several different things in our meeting earlier today. So I do want to be sure to mention our Housing Authority monthly board meeting is tomorrow evening at 5:30. Third Tuesday of every month is usually when it takes place, and tomorrow's the third Tuesday. It's hard to believe. It's already the third Tuesday of August at 5:30 at our offices here in Tahlequah. We are working on a number of different projects, including working to relocate our rehab staff here in Tahlequah down to down the street where CCO currently is. They'll be moving to a different location, and we'll be moving in to that property that the Housing Authority owns, and try to make more space out here, but it'll also be a benefit to us because it'll bring a lot of our housing people closer together, at least the ones here in Tahlequah. We've working on a number of updating a number of families for housing rehab assistance, so we can begin spending the ICDBG funding that we were able to secure this year, and so that's a major undertaking and a major project that we are moving forward on. We recently accepted applications for a college housing program for this fall semester, and I'll be happy to provide you a report next month on how many applications we received. It closed just a few weeks ago, and I know we got a number of continuing students and also a number of new applications this year, so I'll get you some numbers and get those out to you just as soon as we're able to verify all the information we've got and get all of those folks, all of those students who are eligible to participate, approved to participate on that program. I always like to mention the impact that we make to families that we provide assistance to. At the end of June, that number was well over 7,000, and that is includes more than 100 that we have been averaging on the emergency repairs program through our housing rehab department, more than 100 each and every month. This assistance includes, of course, our other programs that we offer, both our home ownership programs and our rental assistance programs. And then we have more than 2,669 families that participate on our Community Shield insurance program. As of the end of June, the Housing Authority had a total of 245 employees, with 95.1% of those being Cherokee. And whenever we add other Native Americans in there, that percentage reaches 98.4%. Something that we are always proud of there. As I mentioned earlier, I know that y'all have had a very long day, so I'm going to end it right there and conclude my report for this evening. As always, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those for you, or you all can also reach out to me at any point in time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Cooper? You did a good job.
Thank you all.
Next, we have our CEO of Cherokee Nation Businesses. As he's making his way down, I'd like to introduce one of the board members from CNB, Jerry Holderby, one of the CNB board members. Give him applause.
Good evening, Council, Chief, Deputy Chief. Had a great months in June and July, and have had a fantastic year. We're ahead of budget, both those months and our year to date. In addition to that, in July, we collected $320,000 in taxes and remitted those to the Cherokee Nation Tax Commission. have several projects ongoing, working on the spa there at Hard Rock, and that's going to be a very nice amenity for the Hard Rock and for the nation. We anticipate that being completed in November, December timeframe. We welcome anybody there to be open to the public. I know Councilman Walking Stick's already got his reservations made to be first, and I'm just kidding, Dave. Speaker put me up to that. Yes, yes. Very first ones. We also have ongoing at WRD a remodel and expansion there, and that property will be really nice. Grove is making good progress. Understand today that they've got the internal framing up, and so they're speeding along. And also Outpost 1 next door, we are hoping will be pumping fuel by the holidays. So we're pushing everybody to try to make that schedule. A couple of items that are coming up. Be a new exhibit open at Cherokee Nation John Ross Museum. The special exhibit features information about John Ross and his Cherokee roots. It'll be John Ross, the early years, and it'll run from August 26th through November 1st. The site exhibit features the early years of the former chief's life, including his time growing up in the Cherokee Nation and attending schools on the East Coast. It also details contacts he made and the influence he faced leading up to his time spent as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. Free admission will be offered on opening day. The museum is open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4, and it's located there at Park Hill. For the 11th year, Cherokee Casino West Siloam Springs will be hosting their Blast to the Past Car and Truck Show. The show is next week and features cars and trucks from across the region with multiple categories for entry. It's a free event open to the public. Registration is available at the casino on the day of the car show from beginning at 8 a.m. through noon on August 20th. We currently have 6,647 employees. For the ones that we can practice preference, we have 4,669 employees. That puts our Cherokee percentage at 72.8%, and that represents 3,401 Cherokee citizens, with other Native Americans at 7.3%, which is 342 other Native Americans, for a total of 80.2% Native American employment. That concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for our CEO?
Thank you.
Good report, Sean. Appreciate you. Okay, that concludes our committee reports. We'll drop down to old business, none pending, new business. Councilor Taylor, would you take the first resolution?
084. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong. Go ahead and do that.
16-084. We can do that after this.
Okay. This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Susan Chapman Plum as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Foundation, and I move for its approval.
You got a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next resolution, Councilor Walkenstick, you want to take that?
Yes. This is a resolution confirming the renomination of school board member Jeff Limemore to Sequoia High School, and I put that form of motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, Councilor Lay, you want to take the third one?
Yes, sir. A legislative act related to Whistleblower Protection Act, and move for its approval.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Got a motion for acclamation. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? By acclamation. These were, need a motion to amend the agenda. Yes, Councilor Baker.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include 3 resolutions that came out of the Resource Committee, which will be items 4, 5, and 6.
Second.
Okay, got a motion to amend the agenda. Got a second? Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, resolution number 4. Councilor Snell, you want to take that?
Yes. This is a resolution authorizing the transfer of Cherokee Nation trust lands to mutual help home participants in trusts. I put that in form of motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Councilor Critton, would you take number 6? Did I skip number 5? Okay, Councilor Hargis, getting ahead of myself here.
This is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation to lease tribal trust land to CC Camp Community Organization located on CMS-8A. This is the Cherry Tree, Red Gym, and Ball Fields containing 26.48 acres. And I put that in form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, now resolution number 6. Councilor Critton.
Right. Resolution authorizing a grant of easement for right-of-way to the Adair County Commissioners for the reconstruction of a bridge in the line switch community on NS 466 Road over Salisaw Creek, located on USA in trust land for the Cherokee Nation, known as CMS-25. Put that in the form of a motion.
You got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we're down to announcements to the right here. Councilor Buzzard, your side. Councilor Austin.
Yes, I received a message. Cookson Hills United Methodist Mission is having an open house on Thursday, September 8th, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., which includes pancake breakfast tours. And the bishop for the state of Oklahoma will be in attendance, and they wanted to invite the Cherokee Tribal Council.
Okay. Anybody else on this side? Anybody to the left? Just like to introduce my sister, who is the mother of the Miss Cherokee, Jeannie. Would you stand? And the only thing that ever got me is she was all state in basketball. It was just hard to accomplish that here. Then her husband, Pete Pittman. Yeah. He's a pharmacist and works for the tribe. So, any more announcements? Are we good? All right. Everybody have a safe travel home. Got a motion to adjourn? Second. We are adjourned.